Designing and building a dedicated space for focused work and relaxation has always been a passion of mine. Over the past year, I moved my workspace into the small bedroom and turned it into a home office. In here, I spend a lot of time writing, sketching, producing music, videos, and working on a lot of creative projects. If you're new to this channel, my name is Emmy, an architect and design professional who loves tech, everyday carry, and productivity principles. In this video, I want to give you a quick tour of my home office and compact YouTube studio. Before we begin, I'd like to give a disclaimer that some of the products mentioned here were gifted to me, but my opinions are my own. As usual, if you're interested in any of the products in the video, links are in the description. I want to start by sharing the philosophy and design behind this studio. I approached the design process using the Vitruvian triangle, which is considered to be a golden rule in architecture practice, with the 3 points being utilitas, firmitas, and venustas. More than the space being visually appealing and aesthetic to the eyes, it first has to be functional and usable to my needs. I designed the space to be as functional as possible with everything virtually within reach, and with my setup located in the middle of the room so I can access everything with just a turn. On the visual side of things, I wanted the space to be seamless with natural tones and clean lines. Central to this vision was the incorporation of natural elements such as touches of greenery and wood, imbuing the environment with a sense of tranquility. Consequently, I opted to paint the walls in subdued shades of gray. This deliberate choice serves the purpose of creating a serene ambience devoid of overtly vibrant hues. By embracing muted interiors, my focus remains undivided on the tasks at hand, particularly the creative endeavors unfolding on my screen where the colors are more confined to a designated space. This philosophy extends to my curation process, wherein I deliberately select items and products in hues of black, white, gray, or those found in nature. With that being said, let's head on over to my desk. The desk I have is still the same as last time. It's a standing desk from Ergo Home with an all-white finish. I chose this finish to give a dynamic contrast against my dark gray wall and to achieve a cleaner look for the setup. Cable managing it is also easy since it has a built-in tray underneath the tabletop. For cable management, I use a few command strips and some cable organizers which I ordered online. It's not the most perfect cable management, but it will do nicely for now. At the heart of the setup are my current favorite peripherals, which help me in my productivity on a daily basis. For my mouse, I still use my trusty old Logitech MX Master 3. It's held up pretty well throughout the years, and I can't imagine myself using any other mouse for productivity. I still utilize its horizontal scroll wheel and programmable buttons, which makes my workflow much easier. And having the option to connect to up to 3 devices without latency is a neat feature that the mouse has. I would say that the only issue I have about this mouse is that it gets harder to clean as time goes by. But other than that, the battery is still great, the connection is fast, and it still is an enjoyable productivity mouse to use. For my keyboard, I recently invested on the Keychron Q1 Pro. I have here the special edition in an all-black finish. It has a sturdy metal body with a premium touch to it, and I chose the brown switches for a more tactile but gentle sound. Keychron is one of the best brands out there that make keyboards specifically for Mac users, but is still able to connect to Windows computers. I wanted to get started on my keyboard modding journey, and I figured that the Q1 Pro is one of the best mid-range keyboards to begin with. One of its unique features is a programmable knob on the upper right of the keyboard. Since it's a QMK and VIA compatible keyboard, it's possible to program and remap it to do other tasks, but for now, it remains as a handy volume knob as well as a mute and unmute knob to control the output of my audio. The stock keycaps are also made of PBT, which makes it resistant to oil and sweat and preserves the characters for a long time. The keycaps feature a bowed KSA profile that makes my typing experience a little bit more enjoyable in my opinion. It also features a capacity of 4000 mAh of battery and can be used while charging. It lasts me up to 2 weeks if used before having to charge it again. I've been a fan of Keychron products for a while now, and my very first one is the K2 version 2. And it's quite exciting for me to start tinkering with my Q1 Pro and see the possibilities of owning a custom keyboard. If you're looking for a mid-range option to get started on your customization journey, I highly recommend the Q1 Pro. To anchor my setup and to draw a line between my desk and peripherals, I use a medium-sized Grove-made desk pad. It's made of premium merino wool felt and it's soft to the touch. It also helps protect my peripherals from damages and keeps my space looking clean and organized. It's available in different colorways, but I chose the dark gray one to keep the items on my space more consistent in appearance. I've been using this desk pad for a few months now, and I can truly say that the way it's made is incredible and the quality is truly premium. To create a defined border and to delineate my space visually, I use a large desk shelf also from Grove-made. It's made of solid walnut, and I find its color to be the perfect tone for the setup to to break the monotony and absence of colors. It's where my speakers stand, and in it, I store my notebooks and other materials I use regularly for easy access. It also has a desk tray where I store small items and other writing tools. I also tuck in my small MIDI controller underneath it. For my monitor, I still use the 32-inch LG Ultrafine Ergo. It has an IPS 4K display which packs a lot of display power and helps with accuracy, viewing angle, and image sharpness. The colors pop out as well with its DCI-P3 95% color gamut. It has been more than a year, and so far it still delivers the same kind of great image quality and ergonomics. It's perfect for video and photo editing, as well as graphic design and architecture because it comes color calibrated straight out of the box. Its screen surface also features an anti-glare coating which helps for more color accuracy when editing images and videos. It also has a good amount of quality input and output connections. It features a USB-C for display, 2 HDMI ports, 1 DisplayPort, 2 USB-A ports, and a headphone jack. But apart from its excellent display and useful connections, the monitor also comes with an ergonomic stand which is quite useful. You can just simply clamp it on your desk and it instantly saves space on your workspace. It also features mechanisms which allow you to swivel, rotate, and even adjust your monitor angle to ensure a more comfortable setup. The stand also allows you to do a better job at cable management because you can route the cables through and hide them. In my opinion, having this ergonomic stand that comes with the monitor is a great selling point for LG since most of the time you'll have to buy a separate mount to make your monitor float on your desk. Although it's not made for gaming since it only features a standard 60Hz refresh rate and a 5 millisecond response time, I still enjoy casual games on it when I want to. Overall, I would highly recommend this monitor for professionals in the creatives industry as a great investment. Above my monitor is a screen bar halo from BenQ. It's one of the most useful accessories I've ever owned, and I can truly say that it will be staying in several iterations of my future setups. The screen bar halo is one of the most premium light bars currently in the market in terms of build quality, light diffusion, and overall design. In my old setup, I used an entry-level light bar from Basis, and although it served me well, I noticed some evident glare on my monitor which affects the display. However, when using the screen bar halo for some reason, the engineers at BenQ are able to diffuse the light properly without glare even in full brightness. This attention to detail is what makes the screen bar halo stand out from the rest. I also appreciate the ease of use when I'm adjusting the angle of the light bar. Compared to other models, it's easier to adjust. Controlling it is also intuitive since it comes with a halo, a round touch sensitive remote controller that turns the light bar on and off, adjusts the brightness, color temperature, and other neat features such as saving your favorite presets and switching off the backlight. I use the light bar for when I'm either working or gaming at night to be kinder to my eyes and reduce blue light. Normally, I set the temperature to warm when I burn the midnight oil. During the daytime, I like setting the temperature to a more neutral tone to encourage focus and productivity. It's also a great light for when I want to shoot photos and videos of my desk setup. Apart from saving space while lighting up my desk, one of the things I like about it is that you can also use it to light the wall behind the monitor. This creates an elegant ambient lighting for the environment and makes the space more inviting. Since the pandemic, we all realized that we can actually accomplish a lot through online conference calls and meetings. Since the nature of my work is a combination of working from home and outside, I knew I needed a quality webcam for online meetings. Thankfully, my good friends from HubSpot sent over the Tiny2, which is an AI-powered webcam that delivers exceptional image quality as well as other cool perks. It boasts a large CMOS sensor with a native 4K resolution, which makes it particularly decent in low-light situations. The Tiny2 can be operated through the HubSpot Center app on your computer and unlocks a lot of features. It also delivers a much faster autofocus, and its sound quality is also sublime. Here's a quick sample of the audio from Tiny2. So this is an audio sample from the HubSpot Tiny2. Let me know how it sounds in the comments. What's also great about the Tiny2 is its capability to operate through voice commands. You can either tell it to wake up, "Hi Tiny," sleep, "Sleep Tiny," zoom in, position for a preset, or even track you, "Track me." Or if you're not feeling like talking to it, you can also use dynamic gestures to zoom in and out for you. With its 2-axis gimbal, it is also able to track and follow you around when you need it to. This is particularly useful if you're doing presentations and want to move around while doing so. Its AI mode offers some features I like to use, such as desk mode, which is useful if you want to feature items on your desk, and a hand tracking mode that makes the camera follow your hand movements. In case you'd like to bring it along with you and connect it to your laptop, it also comes with a handy case. There's still a lot of things to talk about the Tiny 2, but overall, having this advanced AI webcam as part of my setup is a game changer for meetings and conference calls. I highly recommend it. Now let's talk about my audio setup. I recently got my hands on the Audio Engine A2 Plus speakers. It features 2.75 inches aramid fiber woofers and 0.75 inch silk dome tweeters that deliver a clear and crisp sound. They can also connect straight to your computer via USB or an audio interface, or you can also connect it via Bluetooth using your phone. They're the perfect consumer-grade computer speakers due to their sleek appearance, size, and functional I/Os. For audiophiles, the sound quality is already great, although since I'm coming from the M Audio AV42, which was designed for music production and editing, I would still recommend more professional speakers for a flatter and clearer sound. The speakers are also mounted on these spacers to ensure less rumble and better delivery of sound. For audio input and output, I have my trusted Rode AI1 as my audio interface of choice. I use audio interfaces to record voiceovers and instruments when producing music and audio for my content. The AI1 is limited to only one input, but its size and understated design is what attracted me to put it on the setup. In front, it features a volume knob, a 1.4-inch TRS input jack, and a gain knob which can also be used to engage the 48-volt phantom power on when using a condenser microphone. Since upgrading to the iPhone 15 Pro Max, I realized it's great to have a desk charger that allows me to charge multiple devices at once without having too much cables on the desk. As a solution, I placed this 3-in-1 wireless charger from Cookshoe. This is the X40 and I have it in the limited edition wood grain finish to match my desk shelf. It delivers enough power to charge my phone, AirPods, and watch while I work. To power my whole setup, I still use two computers both for productivity and play. My daily driver for content creation and music production is still the M1 Mac Mini, which I bought 2 years ago. With a 512GB SSD and an 8GB M1 Silicon chip, it still delivers the same amount of power. In a span of almost 3 years of use, and after editing hundreds of videos on it, I'm surprised that it still performs really well. I just have to be mindful about my regular backups so I won't have to worry about storage. In it, I run my favorite apps such as Premiere Pro, Photoshop, InDesign, and Lightroom. My go-to music production and audio recording app is still Logic Pro, and it's also one of the main reasons why I still stay within the Apple ecosystem apart from continuity, seamless file transfers, and cloud storage. It currently sits on top of a Satechi Mac Mini dock, which gives me an extra 4 ports for use. For architecture projects, heavier video editing, and gaming, I also still use my custom-built PC. It runs a 13th generation Intel i7 CPU with 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM and 3070 Ti Founders Edition GPU. It also is liquid cooled and its fans are relatively quiet when it's computing for heavy tasks. The specs on this one is quite overkill for my use case, but I still intend to make some minor upgrades in the future, including upgrading its fans. Overall, the PC setup performs nicely when rendering through V-Ray, and video editing on it is also quite smooth. To make this space more inspiring, I added a few touches of decorative elements which also function as storage solutions. On top of my desk is a floating shelf from IKEA, which showcases two of my favorite shots during a recent trip to Europe, as well as an old beaten Gen 1 Sony A7 and a few fake plants. This serves as a reminder for me to look forward to more traveling and adventures after accomplishing challenging and stressful tasks. Beside my setup is a floor uplighter which is useful for ambient lighting, and a Lerberg shelf also from IKEA. It houses a few of my infrequently used items that I still need to be within my reach. On the top shelf is my Blue Yeti microphone which I use for recording voiceovers, a few travel photos, and a fake plant to add a touch of greenery. The next area is where I put some storage bins to store and organize small items. Below it, I have 3 bookshelf storage units from Muji to organize my notebooks, journal, and some reference books for projects, and the lowest area is where I put my camera bags and small tech kits for organization. On the wall to my left is a large pegboard where I store and display my tools for DIY projects and measurements. I have to give credit to Matthew and Sina for giving me this idea in the first place. And below it is a catch-all tray for some self-care items, scented candles, and room scents. To my right, I have an IKEA Alex drawer which contains my frequently used items on a daily basis. Each of the drawers are organized depending on the use case. The highest drawers is where I keep items that I use on an almost daily basis such as SSDs, hard drives, charging bricks, cables. notebooks, and other organizers, and the lowest drawers is where I keep gear that I use for shooting on a regular basis. The drawer also serves as a base for the PC. On top of it is a small pegboard which I use to store my mechanical keyboards that I regularly rotate. Beside it is one of the smartest investments I've made last year. I finally picked up a studio light to have a more controlled lighting in the studio, and it clearly delivers well. This is the Aperture Amaranth 60XS, which has both daylight and warm Kelvin temperatures and can also be controlled through the Sidus Link app. I also attach a Godox softbox to diffuse the light well when shooting. Beside it is a modular table on wheels, which I picked up from IKEA. It serves as a shooting table for when I'm shooting product features and flat lays. I placed a C-stand beside it as well. Beside it is a tray on wheels where I organize some other materials that I need within reach for recording videos, voiceovers, and music. I also labeled the boxes accordingly to ensure that I easily see where things go. And finally, the couch behind my setup is where I rest and lounge when I'm not working. It's also the perfect spot to unwind, read a few books, and calibrate my senses on a regular basis. To control the light and break the rigidness of all the straight lines inside the studio, I installed some blackout curtains. And on the doors leading outside and into the bathroom, I hung a few of my frequent leave backpacks and bags for easy access. And that's my current home office and studio setup for the past year. I'm excited to share with you that my wife and I will be moving to another place very soon, and the design has been finished for the space. And as of filming this video, the construction is about to commence in the next coming month. I hope you're able to get some ideas from my setup that you can also integrate to yours. I've always been a fan of designing and building setups for productivity and play, and I'm looking forward to developing the next one. I can't wait to share them with you very soon. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and share it with your friends. If you have any questions, ask and I'll do my best to answer them. For behind the scenes and updates, follow me on Instagram and TikTok. With that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!